Hey, it's me. If I were to say, I offer you blessings, what does that really mean to you? Do those words feel empty, like just another phrase with no real impact? Or do you sense something deeper behind them? Blessings are real. They carry energy, love, and intention. If you were completely open, free of any walls, fears, and defenses that keep you from fully experiencing life, you would feel them. You would sense the flow of love that is always there, coming from a place of truth, harmony, and light. Too often, though, that love can't reach us. Not because it isn't there, but because we're blocked. Our fears, shame, doubts, and protective barriers keep us from feeling the warmth and connection that's meant for us. I've spoken about this before, but sometimes we hear words without really taking them in. It's only when we allow ourselves to experience the truth within us, when we stop analyzing and instead feel, that real transformation happens. And that kind of awareness doesn't come from thinking harder. It comes from letting yourself be present with what's really inside you, even the uncomfortable parts. Deep within each of us, there is a well of wisdom and love. It's already there. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove yourself worthy of it. But if you feel cut off from that inner source, it's because something, some fear, some old belief, some unhealed wound is standing in the way. So often we look outside ourselves for answers. We turn to teachers, books, or guidance from others, hoping they will tell us what we need to know. The thing is, the deepest, most reliable answers come from within you. That doesn't mean outside help isn't valuable. It absolutely is. But its real purpose is to guide us back to our own inner knowing. So how do we start to reconnect with that part of ourselves? Well, one of the most powerful things you can do is take a few moments every day to sit in stillness. Not to force anything, not to demand answers, just to be. Create space for calm, both inside and out. And as you sit in that stillness, notice what rises to the surface. At first, you might feel nothing but mental noise, worries, fears, distractions. Don't push them away. Listen to them. Understand them. They are the key to unlocking what's underneath. You can't skip this step. If you try to force yourself into peace without acknowledging what's in the way, it won't be real. You might think you've arrived at clarity, but if the deeper blocks aren't addressed, they'll still be there, keeping you from fully experiencing life's love and wisdom. And it's not just about you and your inner world. It's about how you relate to others as well. Most of our struggles, pain, and confusion come from our relationships with family, with friends, with partners, even with strangers. When we feel disconnected from others, it's often because something inside us is closed off. Have you ever noticed a tightness in yourself when you interact with someone? A kind of tension, like an invisible wall between you. That's a sign of a deeper resistance, an inner no to fully feeling, fully connecting. When you hold back your true self, love becomes conditional. You either reach out with expectations or withhold love out of fear. And yet true fulfillment in life comes from being able to give love freely, without fear, without grasping. You might be thinking, what if I open up and people take advantage of me? What if I get hurt? That's a very real fear. I get it. I've been there. I think it's a fear that we need to look at honestly. Because the truth is, when we're blocked, when we keep love locked away inside us, we can't actually see things clearly. Our inner wisdom, the part of us that would guide us in knowing when and how to trust, gets clouded. So we build even stronger walls thinking we're protecting ourselves, when in reality, we're just keeping ourselves trapped in isolation and fear. There's 3 common ways people unconsciously block love. Most of us experience at least one of these patterns, if not all 3, in different ways. The first common way people unconsciously block love is the fear of being controlled. The fear of being controlled. Some people hold back their love because they're afraid that if they allow themselves to truly feel, they'll be forced into something they don't want. They worry that being open will mean losing their independence, sacrificing their needs, or giving more than what they have to give. To protect themselves, they shut down. But this just creates a painful cycle because when we suppress love, we don't actually feel safe. We just feel isolated. But what if love didn't mean sacrifice? What if you could still be true to yourself, have boundaries, and give love freely without feeling controlled? Love and self-respect are not opposites. They go hand in hand. The second common way people unconsciously block love is through the desire to belong to a quote-unquote superior world. The desire to belong to a superior world. Many of us deep down crave acceptance from a group we admire, people we see as strong, intelligent, or powerful. If that group sees emotions or kindness as weak, we might suppress our natural loving feelings to fit in. We may reject those who don't meet certain standards, even if we care for them, just to align ourselves with what we think will make us respected. But this rejection of love doesn't make us stronger. It creates inner conflict and self-betrayal. True confidence comes not from imitating others, rather from having the courage to be ourselves. And the third common pattern or way that people unconsciously block love is the fear of unmet needs. The fear of unmet needs. So some people are so desperate for love that they chase it with intensity, trying to force it to happen. They give too much, not out of genuine generosity, because they're hoping to be loved in return. This grasping energy can push people away, which only reinforces their fear that they are unlovable. The real solution isn't to demand more love from others. It's to become comfortable with sitting in the space of not having. Learning to tolerate the discomfort of unmet needs without collapsing into despair or panic. That's what actually leads to healing. Love can never be forced. It can only be allowed. Did any of these patterns sound familiar? If so, don't judge yourself. Simply notice. Start to see where these unconscious fears have shaped your relationships with others, with yourself, and even with life itself. Then, as you recognize them, you can begin to release them. Remember, love is already inside you. You don't need to create it. You just need to clear the barriers that have been blocking it. When you do, love will flow naturally. It will feel light, effortless, and free. So I invite you to take a breath, sit with yourself, be honest about where you've been holding back, and know that as you slowly open, as you remove these inner walls, life itself will rise up to meet you with love. Love you. Connect soon.